Alright, so I got you guys set up on the tripod. I'm sorry if it's, if I'm not really all the way in frame or kind of hard to hear, but basically I wanted to set you guys up because I have a lot of talking to do. I'll try to make it quick. The Integra is going to be done today. I'm going to try to put it all back together as best as I can today to get it ready to transport. And hopefully this video will be it for the Integra. The owner has run out of money and time to have me keep working on it and just needs to get it back. He's moving across the country in like 2 weeks, and with that comes, a lot of time and money that he doesn't have to give, basically. So it sucks. We're not going to get the satisfaction of getting this car 100% done and running, driving. The front bumper still needs wrapped. We're going to have to just stop here and put the car together as best I can to get it ready to leave, basically. So I just want to tell you guys that so that it wasn't like the Integra just disappears. But like I said, we've made this whole little build series out of his car, and it's going to get wrapped up in kind of a, not the greatest way, but it is what it is. It's not my car. It's, I completely understand it. I have 2 project cars at home that are torn apart that I don't have the time or money for, so no hard feelings or anything like that. It's just, I have bills to pay too, so I have to get the car basically thrown back together today, all the parts put inside of it, completely clear out the garage of anything for it, and move it out of the way to get on to other stuff. So speaking of what I'm going to be moving on to is there's still plenty of other cool builds and wraps and jobs coming along. So it's the end of this car, but you'll probably see a full color change on another car here soon, along with a few other little wrap jobs that I have to do, along with a bunch of detailing and a bunch of like maintenance type videos on cars, oil changes, brake jobs, that kind of stuff, and just the day-to-day stuff. And then I'm going to try to work my own car in the mix and start working on the RSX some at least, or getting the motor painted and getting some things done on it. So it's the end of one project or build series, but it's the beginning of a bunch of other ones. So basically we were gonna finish the wrap and get the car put back together and try to get it as good of a running, driving car as I possibly could within like the next week or 2, and then get it back to him. But he just decided to stop it right now and have me start working on putting it back together so that he can come get it possibly as soon as this weekend. So we almost got it as far as I thought we would, but he just stopped it a few weeks short, maybe a week or 2 short. So there wouldn't have been much else to get done other than seeing the car with the entire wrap done. The front bumper won't be wrapped, but literally everything else is. So I'm going to go ahead, spend today putting the car back together. Hopefully I can get it all done today, and I'll still show you guys what it looks like all back together on the ground as complete as I possibly can, so that kind of wraps it up and we can kind of end it in this video, and the next one will be on to the next project. So I know that's a lot of talking. I'm going to go ahead, get to work, get this car thrown back together as best as I can, and then I'll pick up the camera once I get it done to try to get that satisfying done feeling through to you guys on the camera. So give me a little bit and I'll get back to you. Kind of crazy getting this thing out in the sun. She is leaving today. This thing is gone. Yo, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Hope you're having a good day. I know I am. I'll give you a second. Go ahead and like this video. It helps me out a lot. More than I could even explain. It only takes a second. It's free. Costs you nothing. All you gotta do is just click that thumbs up. But anyways, in the shop today, we got a little different project. Nothing too crazy, just getting paid to degrease the bottom side of this Fox body here. The trans is out and the owner just wanted to get it cleaned up. So let's get into it and I'll show you guys what it looks like. Alright, so on the lift today, we have a Fox body Mustang. I'm not 100% sure on the year, but you guys know the Fox bodies are getting super popular. If you notice the big meaty tires, or if you're from around Columbus, you might have known this car from Facebook and all the little Ohio race pages and stuff. Supposedly this thing's got some power. This thing's taking down some cars. So it is a twin turbo Coyote motor. Looks like it's running some Turbo Smart goodies, CX Racing turbos, a little bit of MSD, got a Mishi radiator, MSD distributor, yeah, a trick flow manifold, some vibrant lines, a little vibrant booster I see. So yeah, thing's pretty decked out. I've seen it run, I've seen it make some steam. It's a bad unit here. Turbos are pretty good size. CX Racing. I bet this thing boogies, but yeah. So the owner needs the whole bottom of the car power washed, degreased, cleaned up. He's having the trans rebuilt and he wants it, when it goes back in, he wants the underneath of the car to be clean, dry, free of all the oils and stuff, because it had a lot of little leaky things underneath of it that just kind of made it nasty under there. So I'm going to get it up in the air and I'll show you guys what the bottom side looks like and kind of how we're going to attack it. Alright, so you're seeing it as I'm seeing it here. Looks like some diff fluid, definitely been leaking down. You can tell here this is all just sludge. I know it's like raining outside, so some stuff's going to be wet from the rain, but a lot of this stuff is wet from oil and grease and diff fluid and whatever the hell else, fuel and a whole bunch of other things. Caked up in here. Never a good idea to hold your fuel filters on with a zip tie. Never a good idea. Maybe that might have, I don't know, that might have been the mechanic maybe just holding it out the way, but I doubt it. Definitely looks like a few corners were cut on this car, but all in all it's got some really good parts, really solid car. But yeah, here's the trans fluid lines. I mean, you can tell all the protection on those is just cut apart. Maybe they had to get it out. I mean, sludgy, greasy, grimy, road grime, oils. I mean, this thing has a little bit of everything. Oh yeah, look at the back of that. Look at the back of the exhaust there. Sure, this one's the same way. Yeah. Something tells me the shop's gonna get pretty gross after this thing. But it's okay. Not a problem. I'll get this thing looking much, much better under here and clean the shop out afterwards. Look at all the rubber. That's all rubber. But yeah, try to get some good shots of everything and show you guys what it looks like once we're done. Alright, so I've gone through and tried to scrape off the thick of it, build-up that there is, like this for instance. You know, I scraped off, just using a blade to scrape it off and get the real thick stuff off. To come off without scraping, or you could just come through and, you know, get the most of it, most of the sludge off real quick before going to the soap and water and degreaser and brushes and all that stuff. So, I mean, this is how everything was too. Like everywhere I scraped, all the bad spots that I scraped, I mean, it was coming off like this much, literally. So, it's pretty bad, pretty sludgy under here. I will give him that. I didn't think it was, but now that I'm getting into it, it's pretty bad. I can see why he went out of his way to go get the car and bring it to me to have this done, because, I mean, pretty much all of this was like this. I can just keep scraping it up and getting more and more. Alright, so I have gone through and scraped up as much as I can, scraped off as much as I can. I have now hit it with the degreaser, like super strong degreaser, multi-surface cleaner, and mixed with a little bit of Dawn, and gone through and kind of brushed in some of it, kind of agitated some of it, hit it with the brush, swirled it around, you know, got it, made sure I got it everywhere. So it's all kind of wet right now, but you can see the degreaser going to work, bringing off some of it. Got like the pan cleaned up a little bit just by wiping it off, and some of the arms are coming clean, but yeah, it's getting there. Kind of hard to get it on camera. There's still some nasty stuff, there's still some spots of nastiness, but as you can see, like the firewall or the tunnel is starting to get a little clean, but like right under it, it's still pretty grimy, so it's getting there. The lighting just is terrible for it, but it's super hard to call it. It's super hard to see through a phone camera, but as you can see, you know, the degreaser that's coming off of it's pretty black, pretty nasty, but try to get you guys up in here and show you some of it. I mean, you know, you got clean metal here and then just disgusting sludge. So that thing was completely caked black. Fuel pump and stuff was completely caked black. You couldn't even see the blue, so some of it's already came off. Just scraping it helped a lot. But yeah, I'm gonna let this degreaser work for a little while longer. Really let the degreaser set in. Then I'm gonna go ahead and start hitting it with the power washer and the foam cannon and all the soaps and stuff. Alright, so went through with another round of degreaser. It's all pretty much ready to get scrubbed and sprayed off. I got my foam cannon ready. This is a mix of cannon soap and dish soap. So we're gonna stick that in the power washer and foam this thing up. Nice and foamy. Gonna let that sit on there for a while. I mean, look at how brown and shit the soap is that's coming off. So I saved a little bit of what's left in the cannon. After I scrub it, I'll probably hit it with the soap again and then start spraying. Just start power washing basically. Try to get you guys under here without getting too wet, but yeah, I just want to get the foam everywhere so that it's really sitting all the little nooks and crannies and getting the dirt off. Alright, I scrubbed it, foam can, hit it with the foam cannon, went through, power washed a lot of it. Some stuff like this just came pretty clean with a good stiff power wash. A-arms are starting to look clean and stuff. So engine stuff's starting to look a lot better. And you can see now with this foam cannon, the soap is coming off white. So there's still some dirty spots where it's dripping, you know, brown stuff, but that's why I did a second pass with it. But on the clean parts, you know, you're starting to get white foam coming off of it. So the whole tunnel and everything is coated with degreaser and foam right now. Just gonna let it sit some more. The exhausts are looking like brand new, or at least the muffler part. Same with like the fuel pump and stuff. Like it's getting there. There's still some spots that you can find where there's stuff packed up in there, but for the most part, it's getting clean. I actually didn't think it would be this clean, so. But yeah, as you can see, it's starting to drip white, you know, starting to get clean. The stuff that's coming off of it's not as disgusting. It's not sludgy anymore, at least. Alright, so third and final foam treatment. This has got everything I can throw at it. Every kind of cleaner, everything I can do with it. Made it super thick, and I'm just gonna let it sit on here while I eat my lunch. But you can tell, like, you know, there's color in the differential, there's color in the shocks, there's color, you know, colors popping out of places you didn't even know they were there, you know. Stuff's starting to actually get clean. The trans tunnel was super gross. It's hard to tell on camera, but and with the foam on it, but it's actually got its color back. So I've gotten all the thick sludge off. I've scrubbed everything down a couple of times, foam cannon a couple times, power washed it once real heavy, and I'll go through and power wash it even heavier for the final time and really spray off all the soap. Try to get every little bit of it that's left off and power washed, and get this thing rinsed. Probably blow dry it and get some of the water out of the places you don't want it to sit, and then I'll have to clean my floor. I'll probably keep it up in the air after I get done with it and kind of spray off the floor, but luckily all the foam's kind of kept it clean. But there has been a lot of nasty stuff coming off this car. Alright, so I kind of didn't film much else. You guys get the idea. Just kept foaming it, scrubbing it, spraying it, degreasing it, foaming it, scrubbing it, spraying it. I had to clean the floor. I basically was wearing it from being underneath of it and just slopping around in it, so I was pretty dirty and whatnot, so I had to clean myself up a little bit. But now that I feel like I got some of it off, figured I'd pick up the camera, and before I drop this thing, give you guys a really good look at what it turned out like. It took me about 4 hours to get it on the lift, up in the air, scrape all the stuff off, brush it, degrease it, and start the process. So all said and done, clean the floors and everything, I got about 4 hours in it. But it looks 10 times better. Like you could actually get up under this thing and work and not feel like it's just sludge everywhere. Looks 100 times better now, and hopefully once he gets the trans back in and gets the car running again, he'll bring it by so that I can actually detail the outside, because the water's like super soft around here, so all the overspray kind of left spots all over the car, and just now the interior and the outside needs it. The wheels are like plasti dipped, so it'd be nice if he'd let me coat those and actually do those the right way and get some of the rubber off the back and just clean this thing up even farther, you know, get the windows cleaned. And then now I could work on the top side of the engine bay too, like actually cleaning from the top, and bag a bunch of stuff, tape a bunch of stuff off, and you know, kind of degrease and spray off the engine bay from the top side. And you know, this is kind of the first step to making this car somewhat clean again. It doesn't look like it's been very clean in a long time, but you know, hopefully the mechanic that puts the trans in and puts it back together makes sure it's all sealed up and there's no more leaks, and then hopefully he gets it back over to me or really anybody else to keep up on it, so that it, because like the body's clean, the shell's clean, the chassis clean, the interior could be, the engine bay could be, the motor and all that stuff's got so many aftermarket parts on it, so it's like this thing could be really sweet. But this is kind of the first step. If he wants to go even farther with it, he could. But I know that was a lot of talking. Let me show you the final product. So he pretty much just wanted me to do like from the tunnel back, but I kind of started at the intercooler and worked my way back. There was a lot of bugs, a lot of crap stuck up in the intercooler. Just sprayed that out, and then as I got more underneath here, I started degreasing and cleaning a little bit more of it as far as like the suspension goes and stuff, you know. These arms were black almost completely. The steering rack was almost black completely. The pan was just disgusting. Wastegate and dump were covered. The fuel, the oil filter was covered and basically like gray. So at least now, you know, there's still some stuff in here, but at least now if you were to actually go work on it, it wouldn't be too terribly bad. Once he gets these old shitty transmission lines out of here, that'll look a lot better. But now you're basically just left with like actual undercoating. So I didn't want to spray it off completely or brush it off completely, like scrub the factory coating off. So you basically just have to try to figure out what is undercoating and what is buildup and sludge and whatnot. So yeah, like all these lines were coated. You can see some of them now actually have like their silver back and their color back, and these bars are nice and clean. Again, the A-arms and stuff are all silver again. Oil pan's nice and clean. Back of the engine's nice and clean. Got those clips up there cleaned off. Just sprayed some of the suspension stuff down and just tried to degrease as much as I possibly could up under here. The trans tunnel is a huge difference. You can actually see, you know, the actual color of the car, and like you never would have saw this little rust spot here, and it was not anywhere near this color or this clean before. Whoever did the shifter thing kind of rigged that up, so I didn't want to spray too much up in there, but as you came from here over, it started to get into like actual undercoating. Like there's still stuff on it, but I didn't want to peel it basically. But yeah, it's like at least you could get to the bolts now and they're not disgusting, and again, the traction bars and everything over here are nice and clean, you know, nothing actually on it. Tried to get these lines and everything good. The exhaust is way cleaner than what it was. I mean, it's actually super clean to the touch now, and silver again. The backside that I showed you I was writing my initials in are actually clean. You know, this stuff looks 10 times better than what it did. There's actually, you know, a silver cover here, and these are actually down to paint for the most part. All the fuel stuff here, you could work on it without getting disgusting. Same with the shocks. They cleaned up really nice. I got like the insides of the wheels a little bit. Same with these traction bars now. They're nice and clean. Before they were completely caked. But yeah, it's like colors on the differential that you didn't even know were there back. So it's a lot cleaner than what it was in here for sure. This back pan, this back cover for the fuel tank like was disgusting. Same with up in here, like all this up in there got cleaned out. Whatever was sitting on top of the fuel cell was coming out, or the fuel tank was coming out. Whatever was sitting on top of the differential got washed out. Like, I could probably talk about it for a lot longer, but I'm gonna cut it off there. The underneath of this thing is way more clean. Hopefully it comes across in camera. It definitely does in person. The camera with this door open just kind of hard. Kind of hard to see, but I think, you know, definitely up underneath the motor, I think you can tell pretty well. That's a good picture. That's kind of a good view, I guess. I'm gonna try to throw some side-by-side clips in here of what it looked like before versus now. Maybe that'll be even more satisfying. Alrighty guys, that is going to wrap it up for this video. I appreciate you for watching. The Mustang turned out great. I was glad to do it. Hopefully he gets the car put back together and turns it into something really clean, really unique, really sweet. It's definitely fast, so yeah, be on the lookout for another video coming soon. I'm going to try to drop them a little closer together, more like 2 or 3 a week instead of like 1. So like I said, thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell if you enjoyed it, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.